नॉलेज जंक्शन 2.0 चैनल के सभी साथियों को मेरा प्यारा सा नमस्ते। साथियों, मैं सौरभ प्रीति जी हाँ हाजिर हूँ आज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट वीडियो को लेकर आप लोगों के साथ। जी हाँ साथियों, हम लोग आज बात कर रहे हैं इसमें गेट एग्जाम जो कि आज हुआ है, यानी कि 5 फरवरी 2023 का पूरा इंग्लिश के एग्जाम का एनालिसिस हम देख रहे हैं इसमें। तो साथियों, बैच जो है, इस पूरे एनालिसिस को शुरू करने से पहले आप लोगों को एक बेसिक से इंफॉर्मेशन और देनी है मुझे कि हम लोगों का जो है इंग्लिश फाउंडेशन का बैच ओपन हो गया है, जिसमें कि 6 फरवरी यानी कि कल से हम लोग नई क्लासेस प्रॉपर शुरू कर रहे हैं, जिनको मैं ही पढ़ा रहा हूँ। कुछ डेमो क्लासेस के लिए आप इस नंबर पर, हमारे साथी रमेश परगई सर का नंबर है, इस पर कॉल करके आप जुड़ सकते हैं। इसके अलावा हम व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप लिंक भी दे रहे हैं आपको और टेलीग्राम लिंक भी दे रहे हैं इसी वीडियो में, आप उसको भी देखकर उससे जुड़ सकते हैं। और साथियों, चैनल को लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब करिए, क्योंकि ये बहुत ही मेहनत लगा के हम लोग इस वीडियोस को बनाते हैं। तो पूरी उम्मीद है कि आप लोग भी इन की इम्पोर्टेंस को समझेंगे और एज ए लर्नर आप लोगों का ये करियर में ये वीडियो सहायक होगा। ठीक है, तो शुरू करने से पहले एक जल्दी से, जैसे कि रस्म है, आप लोगों को बताना कि हाँ, एक लर्नर का काम है हमेशा जो है पेपर को देते रहना। यहाँ पर मैं अपने डिटेल्स भी आप लोगों को पब्लिक कर रहा हूँ, ये रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर है और आज मैंने इस पेपर को दिया। साथियों, पहली बार मैंने गेट का पेपर दिया। आप लोगों को बताना चाहूँगा कि साथियों, नेट को मुझे 9 बार निकालने का सौभाग्य मिला। जेआरएफ और 3 स्लेट्स अलग अलग स्टेट्स के, जैसे कि गुजरात और हिमाचल प्रदेश और अपना उत्तराखंड, प्यारा उत्तराखंड। तो इन 3 स्टेट्स को निकालने के अलावा 9 बार नेट हमने निकाला। ऊपर वाले की कृपा है, ऐसी कुछ ऐसा गुरुओं का साथ मिला कि मैं कुछ कर पाया। तो साथियों, आज उसी चीज से प्रेरित होकर गेट का जो ये पेपर है ये दिया था, जो कि आईआईटी कानपुर ने इस बार कंडक्ट करा था। तो साथियों, देखते हैं गेट के पेपर को, समझ लेते हैं इसके समीकरण क्या थे और किस तरीके से ये पेपर आया और क्या इसमें क्या क्या चीजें हुई। तो अगर आप यहाँ पर देखेंगे साथियों कि ये जो पेपर है हमारा गेट इंग्लिश पेपर का रिव्यू हम लोग यहाँ पर देख रहे हैं, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है साथियों। इस पेपर में 3 सेक्शन होते हैं और पहला जनरल इंटेलिजेंस का होता है, जिसमें 10 क्वेश्चन होते हैं। और दूसरा जो है हमारा जिसमें हम लोग रीजनिंग एंड कॉम्प्रहेंशन, RNC शॉर्ट में लिखा है मैंने, 16 क्वेश्चन होते हैं इसमें। और इंग्लिश जो हमारा मेन कोर पेपर था साथियों, वो उसमें 39 क्वेश्चन थे। तो जो है ओवरऑल 39 प्लस 16 प्लस 10, जो टोटल क्वेश्चंस थे वो कितने थे? 65 क्वेश्चंस थे। 3 आवर का ये पेपर था और जो टोटल मार्क्स थे वो 100 मार्क्स थे। ठीक है, तो कुछ क्वेश्चन इसमें 1 नंबर के थे, कुछ क्वेश्चन 2 नंबर के थे, इस तरीके से करके ये पूरा क्वेश्चन का पैटर्न था। और साथियों, साथ साथ इसमें MSQ करके एक आया था, मल्टीपल सेलेक्ट क्वेश्चन, जिसमें नेगेटिव मार्किंग नहीं थी। कुछ में MCQs में भी नेगेटिव मार्किंग नहीं थी, मगर कुछ MCQs में 1/3 नेगेटिव थी और कुछ कुछ क्वेश्चंस में जो 2 नंबर के थे उनमें 2/3 भी नेगेटिव थी। तो साथियों, यहाँ पर ये जो नेगेटिव हो जाता है वो बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है, जो कि पेपर को एक दिलचस्प बनाता है कि MSQ और MCQ जो दोनों का मिक्सचर हो जाता है, उससे पेपर का जो लेवल है हम देख सकते हैं कि एकदम डिफरेंट टाइप का हो जाता है। तो ओवरऑल मैंने ये देखा कि पेपर का जो लेवल था वो इजी था। इंग्लिश के क्वेश्चंस इस बार इतने डिफिकल्ट नहीं आए थे, अगर हम पिछले बार के दोनों पेपर से कंपेयर करें तो। और जो है ओवरऑल जो है GI और हमारा रीजनिंग और कॉम्प्रहेंशन भी मॉडरेट था, इतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं था। सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात मुझे ये लगी इस पेपर में कि हमारे पास समय काफ़ी मिल गया था, क्योंकि 65 क्वेश्चंस थे और हमारे पास 180 यानी कि 3 आवर्स थे। तो साथियों, मेरा जो प्रिडिक्शन है अपना, मैं एक प्रिडिक्शन क्वेश्चंस बताने से पहले आप लोगों को करना चाहूँगा कि पिछली बार का जो कट ऑफ था, पिछले से पिछली बार का इंग्लिश में, वो कम था काफ़ी। उसके बाद फिर हमने देखा कि पिछली बार कट ऑफ लगभग जनरल में आई थिंक 55% गया था। तो मेरे को अभी ये लगता है कि इस बार शायद 55 प्लस, यानी कि 60% तक जो है, 55 प्लस जो है मींस 55 to 60 समवेयर आई थिंक, जो है इस बार भी हमारा जो है गेट का जो इंग्लिश का कट ऑफ रहेगा जनरल में, ऐसा मेरा प्रिडिक्शन है। ठीक है, तो बाकी डिटेल्स मैं आपको देता हूँ, क्वेश्चंस हमने क्या क्या करे उस पर भी बातचीत हम लोग करेंगे। ठीक है, तो आगे बढ़ते हैं साथियों। आप जैसे कि देख सकते हैं साथियों यहाँ पर कि जो हमारा गेट में, अगर हम क्वेश्चंस के रिव्यू का देखें तो क्वेश्चंस कहाँ से आए थे। अगर हम मॉडर्न एज को पहले देखें तो मॉडर्न एज में हम देखते हैं अडन से 2 से 3 क्वेश्चन थे, खासकर उनकी एक पोएम थी द अननोन एन अननोन सिटीजन, जहाँ से क्वेश्चन पूछा था। एंड फिर पोएट पर उनका एक कोटेशन था, आई थिंक मेरे ख्याल से इन मेमोरी ऑफ डब्ल्यू बी ईट्स की जो पोएम है उसमें से एक लाइन उठाई थी। तो अडन से 2 से 3 क्वेश्चंस बने बने थे साथियों। जेम्स जॉयस का क्वेश्चन जो है वो आया था। जेम्स जॉयस का आया था क्वेश्चन। फिर एक क्वेश्चन इंटीरियर मोनोलॉग से आया था। इस क्वेश्चन में इन्होंने बहुत ट्रिक, देयर वाज दिस ट्रिक दैट दे three options were dramatic monologue and one option was interior monologue. So in a way modern age में हम लोग जानते हैं interior monologue that means stream of consciousness. Now when we talk about James Joyce, there was this question that which character was a recurring character, and the name of the character was given, and they asked the name of the novel. The name of the character was of course Stephen Dedalus. Then there was this one question from the topic novel in verse, okay, in which they have given us the various novels, and then they asked the question. And then there was this question from narratology, where they, you can say narratology or linguistics, whichever way you want to call it. So from narratology, blending and back formation, these were the two options. I think the option, the answer was blending, in which they gave us the words like smog, brunch, when two verbs, sorry, when two words are formed to form a new words. So smoke and fog creates smog, breakfast and lunch creates brunch, right? So blending is the answer. You can also call them as portmanteau, okay? Now there were questions from Indian literature in English as well. There was this question from Tagore, that who wrote the preface of Gitanjali. Of course, W.B. Yeats was the answer. Then there was this question from Girish Karnad, where they asked about Hayavadna, the play and its sources. Then American literature, they asked a question from Sylvia Plath, where they basically and asked the novel which she wrote, Bell Jar. Okay, so and then Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass. The one question was there from that as well. Then in the figures of speech, they asked this question from this quotation was given, and antithesis was the answer as far as I believe. Because the question was conducted in question paper was conducted in CBT mode, so obviously the questions are not available directly, but based on memory, whatever is there, I am trying to produce it. All of you are also requested to put your uh, questions or doubts in comment section so that we can answer. In antithesis, apart from antithesis, there was one question from quotation also, where they gave a quotation from Bacon. Then there was one quotation from George Orwell, and through that they asked the match the following section. There was this one quotation from Emerson. So in that way they asked the questions, right? So this is there. Now let's look at the second slide. If you look at this slide, you can see here the questions were in romantic age. The questions were asked from lake poets. Very easy question was there, that which among the followings, which is the correct group of lake poets. Then there was this question of from Coleridge, where they asked the terms that he gave us in his criticism, Biographia Literaria. We know his work in criticism, and then means questions were asked like primary imagination, secondary imagination, and fancy. All these terms were asked. Then from Jane Austen, there were two questions. One is the very famous one, that the truth, there is this truth universally acknowledged, opening line of which famous novel. And unfortunately I attempted this question, and now I just checked it. The answer was Pride and Prejudice. So unfortunately, it did not go the right way for me. So, but it was a very good question. And then there was this question that they asked based on the feminism of Jane Austen and George Eliot. So that was there. In Victorian age, they asked the question from Browning, that which poem Browning intended to be a play, and then it eventually became a poem. And then from Charles Dickens, there's this novel, The Old Curiosity Shop, was asked. And then in criticism and theory, there were many questions, guys. Like in deconstruction, there were at least 2 to 3 questions, including questions on Derrida and who translated Derrida in English. And then in simulacra, this term was given by Baudrillard. So this question is from postmodernism. Then postmodern novels, they asked in mass the following: magic realism. There was this one very important question on magic realism. Then this term chutneyfication by Salman Rushdie was being asked. In New Criticism, they asked a question on paradox by Clint Brooks. Then in criticism, there was this question on hubris. This term was given by Aristotle, and what does it mean. Then they asked a question on Plato regarding, Plato wanted to banish which section of society. All these questions were there. Then in partition novels, there was one question also in which Indian novels were asked, the novels which were based on partition. Guys, that was it. A short, brief analysis of the GATE February 2023 paper. One thing that I would really like to say is that the paper was not that difficult as we generally tend to say or tend to believe it. It all boils down to our preparation. There are many good YouTube channel, and also there are many good educators in our net English field who are trying their best to educate, especially related to GATE. So I would like to say that after giving this paper, that the paper was easily um, means the paper can be easily cleared if one targets in a very specific manner. If you are smart enough, there is no need to attempt much questions from, you can say, the first section, general intelligence, because there will be some questions based on hardcore mathematics. The trick is, as a student of literature, you may avoid doing that, because even if you avoid doing it, you can score heavily from your English section and your second section, that is reading comprehension. It was also a very testing section in which they asked, the unseen passages were very logical and there were many twists and turns in the questions. So attempt the questions very carefully, be very alert while doing the GATE paper. One thing that I noticed while attempting GATE and NET, the difference is in NET, the focus obviously is more on a literature centric approach, but in GATE there is more of a, you can say, diversification, and also the questions asked are mainly conceptual based questions. They are mainly interested in the application of the questions rather than the factual aspect of it. And one more thing I observed in this paper is that we need to be selective in opting out the trickier questions, because if you will try to in which negative marking is there, so for that you need to have a thorough understanding and very confident about the options for which you are going. So if you are confident enough, then I think GATE is easily achievable. But at the same time, if your preparation is not up to the mark, or if you are not that confident, or for that matter if your revision is not up to the mark, then in that scenario you may end up getting confused, and in that situation you may end up getting yourself trapped in that in that sequence where you are always worried whether I should go for it or not. So all the best for the next GATE exams, and I hope this video really helps you in getting motivated. Especially qualifying GATE English is not that difficult, that I can assure you guys. And stay connected with this channel. I'm really trying my best to give you best of whatever little knowledge that I have. And keep sharing your views, keep getting Knowledge Junction 2.2 a better community for learning. And hopefully we'll come up with result oriented and more, you can say, student friendly courses. So stay connected, and I'm really coming up with a very important course, especially the basic foundation course called as KJ English Foundation course. It's going to be really helpful for all the learners, especially for TGT PGT level. So please do call at the given number that is given in the video at different times. And for free demo classes, you can go for it, and discounts are also available. So do avail these discounts, and I will see you there in my classes. Till that time, thank you so much, and enjoy and keep doing your learning. That's very important. Thank you.